Hey guys, I have some news for you because CitizenCon is officially dead for 2026. CIG just confirmed there's not gonna be a CitizenCon this year, not in any form, not digital, not physical, nothing. Because they want the entire studio focused on development instead of building another giant showcase basically. And they also talked about Squadron 42, and they talked about it again that they're going to actually release it at the end of this year. So they're talking about it publicly. You know, they're not hinting at it. They're just saying that okay, we expect Squadron 42 to be released at the end of the year, so we don't have to waste our time with CitizenCon. Which actually I thought CitizenCon was going to be the marketing for Squadron 42 because it's a huge event. Everyone talks about Star Citizen in that time, so I thought it was gonna be like a perfect opportunity. Guys, Squadron 42 is out, so go check it out within the event. But now that the event is not there, what are we expecting there to be instead of it? So we're gonna have to speculate about that, but the first thing we're getting is Alpha 4.8. So let's talk about what is actually coming, like in the next patch. So we got the first look at tactical strike groups, which honestly might end up becoming one of the best repeatable PvE activities that they have added this year. This is basically a new large-scale cooperative combat activity against the Shattered Blade Vandal forces. And this is probably the closest Star Citizen has looked to an actual military operation. So this mission looked way more structured than the usual bunker stuff. You've got multiple objectives happening at once, enemy waves pushing different angles, players splitting responsibilities. It actually looked like a scenario you'd want to run with a group instead of just solo grinding, half asleep while watching YouTube on another monitor. But here's the thing though, we are getting a lot of group activities, which kind of concerning for the single player folks like myself. Like I don't have like 80 friends or even 10 friends that could play with me with this activity. So what am I supposed to do in this situation? Am I going to be a lone pilot, telling someone if they have an Idris that I could just refuel and rearm in their Idris as a solo pilot? Do I have the confirmation, as a solo player? Who knows? We're gonna find out. Also, capital ships are finally starting to function like actual support platforms instead of just expensive space apartments. You can now refuel, rearm smaller ships within the bigger ship's hangar, such as the Javelin, the Idris, and any other ship within that range. So they actually said that you could do that with the 890 Jump. You can do it with the new Ironclad that is coming out, and you can basically do it with any ship that has a big hangar, the Carrack, for example. So they listed a bunch of these ships. And we've also got the Caterpillar functionality. We've talked about this before. The Caterpillar is going to have command module is attachable from the Caterpillar. New refueling gameplay. We are also getting some new gear. So we're getting a plasma grenade. We're getting G-force resistant suits, which is the pilot suits that they talked about like ages ago in the last CitizenCon. And we're getting the Novia or the Novier, I don't know how you pronounce it, crossbow. Basically the space crossbow, which was teased a long time ago, I think over a year ago. The G-force resistant suits are interesting too because it feels like CIG is still pushing toward physicalized flight systems where maneuvering aggressively actually affects the pilot, hence the G-force suits. I think you guys know this, like when you're moving so fast in a ship, you don't want to pass out, so you wear these suits and basically you don't pass out. You can handle more G-forces. And so dogfighting becomes way more intense when movement has physical consequences instead of ships behaving like arcade cameras with guns attached. Now for the DefenseCon stuff, because this definitely feels like a pretty major shift away from the whole Invictus atmosphere they've had for years. Finally, Drake is stepping up. Drake is my favorite manufacturer, you guys. So we're getting the biggest reveal, obviously, is going to be the Ironclad, the Pitbull. We've already seen those, but the biggest reveal, secret reveal, is going to be the Anvil Odin Battlecruiser. Now, this is going to be, I believe, not the actual ship, because that would be insane. They said it's twice the size of the Javelin. It also costs probably $5,000. This is not confirmed, but it's double the size of the Javelin. So the Javelin, I believe, was $3,000. So you can extrapolate that it's going to be more than that. Regardless, we're going to see it as a hologram. I believe so. I believe we're going to see a hull or a hologram of the entire ship. And we're going to see it at the top of the tower in Area 18, which I'm going to check out in the because they said it's going to be released in the PTU tomorrow on the 8th of May. So I'm going to go check it out in the game. And it's probably going to look terrifying. I mean, double the Javelin. I don't know how big is the Bengal carrier compared to the Javelin, but it's going to be the biggest ownable ship in the game by far. So this is actually this is the biggest reveal ever, you know, for ships that they're gonna reveal, even in future updates. Like I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but this is one of the biggest ships that they're ever going to be releasing in the game. You know, they need a server just for people within this ship alone, because it's gonna be like, what, 80 people, 50 people? How many people? How much can a server handle this amount of people with a moving ship? We need actually dynamic server meshing just for this ship to function within the game. And finally, we're gonna talk about the CitizenCon situation. I honestly am a big fan of CitizenCon. I feel like we get so much stuff in that event. We see the progression as well, because if you see like CitizenCon last year, you see how much did they actually deliver. And thankfully, a lot of the things that they said they're gonna deliver, they actually delivered it. The pyro system, engineering gameplay, crafting tier 0, other updates, you know. And they said that they're gonna add, you know, Nyx and the new Genesis system within this year. So alongside Squadron 42. This is why I loved CitizenCon. Now the fact that it's not gonna be present, and they have done it like every year, even if it's not physical, they've done it digitally for the past, I don't know, many years. So this is actually a big deal. This is a huge indicator that Squadron 42 is actually going to be released, and I'm still trying to grasp that that's going to happen. Because guys, the game was in development for a decade. The game is almost at a $1 billion funding, right? I know this is both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, but you know, people are gonna say that, you know, this game has been in development for a decade and it costs $1 billion. And so there's a lot at risk here. You have to, you know, market it well. It has to be successful, obviously, because I love Star Citizen and I want Star Citizen to succeed. And I feel like Squadron 42 is a big deal for Star Citizen to succeed, because a lot of, you know, it's gonna be a mainstream game, hopefully, right? It's you know, deploying alongside GTA 6. I hope you guys understand the gravity of this, because CitizenCon is their biggest event ever, and they're scrapping it for a good reason, I believe, because, you know, Squadron 42 is gonna release. So yeah, it's just a great indication. But this was just a quick update for what is coming. Huge stuff. Also, the monthly report for April has just been released, and I'm gonna do a video on it real soon. And I'm gonna check the Anvil Odin tomorrow once it released in the PDU. So what do you guys think? Are you excited about the next patch? Are you skeptical about the CitizenCon not happening? Do you really believe that Squadron 42 is not gonna be delayed again? Let me know in the comments, and always tell me your feedback about these videos, because I try to make it as best as possible. So if you have any comments or any feedback you can give me, that would be greatly appreciated. So let's have a chat in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the verse.